Listen to me. If you are standing on the precipice of retirement, or if you are already there, you need to wake up and look at your money right now. We need to talk about one of the most misunderstood, confusing, and frankly, terrifying pieces of the retirement puzzle, your pension. You see, everyone sits around wishing they had a pension. They look at it as this magical, golden ticket, this security blanket that will protect them forever. But let me tell you something, a pension is only a security blanket if you actually understand how it works. If you don't, it can become a financial trap that compromises your entire future. The biggest fear I hear from people just like you is the fear of running out of money before you run out of breath. It keeps you up at night, doesn't it? You wonder, will this check actually be there for the rest of my life? What happens if my company goes under? What happens to my spouse if I die tomorrow? These are painful questions, but avoiding them will destroy you financially. Denying your financial reality is the ultimate self-sabotage. So let's break down the walls of confusion today. What exactly is a pension? In the financial world, we call it a defined benefit plan. And I want you to look at those words closely, defined benefit. It means your employer is promising you a very specific, defined monthly payout when you retire. It is entirely different from a 401k or a 403b, where you take all the risk, you choose the mutual funds, and you pray the stock market doesn't crash the year you want to stop working. With a pension, the company takes the risk. They manage the money, they invest the funds, and they owe you that check. But how do they figure out that number? How do they decide what you are worth every month? It isn't random, and it isn't magic. It is based on a strict mathematical formula unique to your employer. Usually, it takes three things into account: the number of years you worked for the company, your age when you retire, and your final average salary, often the average of your highest 3 or 5 consecutive earning years. Think about what that means. If you leave a company early, or if you retire before you hit their specific milestone age, you are drastically slashing that formula. You are leaving your own money on the table. You must call your HR department and get your specific formula in writing. Do not guess. Guessing is a luxury you cannot afford right now. Now, let's address the heavy elephant in the room. The fear that makes your stomach drop: what if my company goes bankrupt? What if the pension fund runs dry? Look at the news. It happens. But I want you to breathe, because for most private corporate pensions, there is a safety net called the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, or the PBGC. This is a federal agency that steps in to pay your benefits up to certain statutory limits if your plan fails. It is a massive relief, yes, but it is not a perfect shield. If you are a high earner with a very large pension, the PBGC limits might not cover your entire promised amount. You have got to know where you stand. This brings us to the single most critical decision you will ever make regarding your pension. It is the fork in the road that determines the financial destiny of your family, and it trips up almost everyone. The day you retire, your company is going to hand you a piece of paper and make you choose between two primary options: a single life annuity or a joint and survivor annuity. Listen to me very carefully. A single life annuity gives you the highest possible monthly payout. It looks beautiful on paper. It makes you feel rich. But it pays out only for as long as you, the employee, are alive. The second your heart stops beating, that income stream vanishes into thin air. If you have a spouse who depends on that income to pay the mortgage, buy groceries, and survive, they are left with absolutely nothing. Zero. A joint and survivor annuity, on the other hand, will offer you a lower monthly amount, maybe 10 or 20% less. Why? Because the company is insuring 2 lives instead of 1. When you pass away, your surviving spouse will continue to receive a check, usually 50%, 75%, or even 100% of the original amount, for the rest of their days. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen a well-meaning person choose the single life option just because they got greedy for the bigger number, only to pass away a few years later and leave their widow completely destitute. Do not let greed dictate your security. If you have a partner who relies on you, you must protect them. You choose the option that protects both of you, or you look into alternative strategies like using life insurance to bridge the gap. Then comes the second major decision, the lump sum option versus the monthly annuity. Some employers will offer to hand you one massive check representing the present value of your future pension, allowing you to walk away forever. It is incredibly tempting. You see a check for $300,000, $500,000, or $1 million, and you think, wow, I'm rich. I can manage this better than the company. Can you? Be honest with yourself. If you take that lump sum, you are taking all the risk back onto your own shoulders. You have to invest it. You have to manage it. You have to make sure you don't spend too much too fast, and you have to pray the market doesn't enter a massive downturn right when you start drawing from it. If you choose the monthly annuity, you are choosing guaranteed, predictable income that you cannot outlive. For the vast majority of people who do not have advanced investing experience, the security of a guaranteed monthly check is worth its weight in gold. Your actionable takeaway starting today is to stop flying blind. I want you to contact your plan administrator this week. Ask for your current benefit statement. Ask for an estimate of your options at different retirement ages. Look at the health of the plan itself. If you are offered a choice between a lump sum and a monthly payment, do the math, or hire a fee-only financial professional to do it with you, to see what it would take to replicate that guaranteed income on your own. Your pension is a powerful tool, but it requires your active attention. You worked decades to earn this benefit. Do not drop the ball at the 5-yard line because you are too afraid or too tired to read the fine print. Take control of your money, stand in your truth, and secure the retirement you deserve.